and Biggie kind of get involved in this situation. And this is a situation where, you know, Pac basically ended up feeling a certain type of way about Diddy and Biggie. And obviously the Biggie Tupac beef is legendary, and they both ended up losing their lives.
What's good, chat? Back with another live stream. My bad, I ain't been live in a minute. What the fuck? I don't even know what this shit is. I don't know what that shit is. The frame drops is crazy right now, chat. Everything looks different. Feels different. Let me not get into that. Hold up, chat. I gotta see what the hell this is. Oh, that's Brazy. What the fuck is new radio? What you doing? About to have to get up in the booth and cook it.
You said what?
About to have to get up in the booth and cook something up. Where you at?
I'm at the new grow house.
I'm at the house. You should come pick me up.
You where?
At the house.
I should be able to.
Okay. Good looks. I'll be here waiting.
Yeah, good.
Let me find the beat. Let me find me a beat. I should pause this too. Nah, just wait to find the beat. I'll just wait. I can pull this up on TV. Boom. I forgot.
Gang, a lot of people have been wondering, when is there finally going to be justice in the case of the murder of Tupac Shakur? It's been talked about. Suspect in the 1996 drive-by shooting of Tupac Shakur was actually indicted in Las Vegas on the murder charge. I'm talking about Keefe D. Okay, Keefe D, long known to investigators as one of 4 suspects identified early in the investigation. He isn't the accused gunman, but was described as the group's ringleader by authorities in a news conference. He was eventually
I can tell I'm over
murder.
here at 30 flips.
Even if you helped commit the crime, they said that he was the shot caller for the group of individuals that committed the crime, and they want to try and actually have justice for Tupac after these decades have gone by. Now, what's so crazy about this, okay, is the fact that although the article called him the last living suspect, Keefe...
Round 2. Damn, that shit was cold. That nigga just hit a whole backflip.
You might die to desync.
Yeah, I'm just gonna pray to the people upstairs.
I'm just gonna try and stay away from holes. God, that is so bad. Downtown's fucked right now.
And are you going through the map too?
Yep. Hop out.
Shit's so buggy right now.
Yeah, shit, fingers are losing each other. It is not like this, like, before I started growing, bro. Everything was buttery.
Can I get keys to here? Do I gotta be by the door?
Tonight you will be given a chance to beat these monsters in an event that plays to your strengths. Singing, karaoke. Bam! Now, in case you don't know it, here's what's at stake. If Stan and the gang wins, they get to go home alive. Then the monsters must leave our town and never come back. If the monsters win, they get to mutilate and kill Stan.
You said Stan?
First up, the monster.
Hey Stan, there's no need to feel down. We said, hey Stan.
You grow however much you want, brother.
I'm probably about to grind. I need to get enough money so I can pay for a grow room too.
Yeah, if the crafting is still available, I'm gonna go check that. Down the find that out. You wanna do that?
Yeah, I'm down.
I'd rather you buy them from me than potentially fucked over by someone else or get charged too much.
Right. I think I still might got some plastic and shit from last time I was in City helping you do this shit.
Okay. I haven't done it in a while. I gotta recheck how much shit I have. I know 2 cents and 2 pots that I could sell right now though.
Well, I hate to say
How
it,
much you
but
trying to get rid of them for?
great job, monsters. Not bad for a bunch of murderous
For you, I'll do 75k a pot
I'm gonna
and
give it a shot.
50 at them.
Okay, let me.
Usually I do 100k a pot and 250 10.
I got 6K. I'm gonna have to wait until later, but I'm down for that.
Good. I'll hold on to them.
Okay. Didn't I get fertilizer? That's crazy. Is there somewhere I can change?
Yeah.
No, this ain't good.
It's right there in the rack.
Steph, great Steph. Tough call. Now, you know how it works. The town decides. How many of you think that Stan and his friends were the best?
Where the hell my tattoos go?
Might have lost some of them.
I might have lost all of them. It looks like.
That the monsters were the best.
I lost all my tattoos.
Yeah,
They're
still got your
admittedly
black one.
a little biased, you understand?
But that's under the makeup shit. I lost all the actual tattoos.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
You heard Kay, we won fair and square.
Do something, Stan. Do something.
Time to bring out the hardware.
It's so crazy, chat.
Well, that was completely ineffective.
Oh, I feel like I should tell you. I forgot to mention that I got a little thirsty earlier, so I refilled your
Look at
weapon
this.
with
Yeah, my
water
white boy fit.
outside.
Nigga, what you talking about?
You drank the
Yeah,
holy
man.
water?
It was delicious.
Could have used this information a minute ago.
Yes, sir. That's crazy though.
Great, it's a joke.
I thought it'd be more of a clue.
I think you're both right. It's a joke and a clue on how to deal with these monsters.
I don't get it. I don't get it either.
No, guys, I think I can read this. Yeah, I think it says that the monsters have weaknesses.
Okay, Stan Helsing. You've had your fun. Now get ready to taste your own blood.
It really hurt. You want me to get involved? Well, I'm getting involved.
Well, I don't see how this is gonna help, but all right. Oh, not me. Okay.
I have no
sell
weaknesses,
water and shit.
mortal.
That's what's up. I'm gonna have to give me some of these. I'm not wrong.
We're not gonna go that easy.
Oh, actually, you two have the same weakness. Teddy, condiments, please.
Coming right up, Stan, my man.
Sounds like Sammy Boy finally got his raw meat. No, looks like no one's getting blown tonight.
And what's my weakness?
Dude, you're a doll.
What's my weakness? Oh, what the fuck?
Black and blue 69. Hut, hut, hut.
Here's the kick. In the air. It's good.
You did it! You got rid of the monsters!
Your cab is waiting for you outside. Here. You've earned it, Stan Van Helsing. Break.
Thanks for visiting Stormy Night Estate. Westgate? An ice cream truck. That's a new one. No, I can't say I've ever seen a rocket sucker with balls.
Aw, hey look, it's the mask that Altar Boy gave you.
Mask?
Red Whoop?
So does it alter how I look?
I think he meant it would alter how you look at things.
Stop the cab, please.
Do all these? Oh, that's just that they all got the water and thing. No, it looks like on these ones, dude.
You know what I'm thinking?
Lap dance?
Well, I was gonna say a kiss, but we can skip right to the lap dance if you wanna. Oh my. Oh.
I better make sure you're okay. Oh no, you're so sick. You're so sick. Don't eat that. Welcome to my world, bitch.
Take two. One time. Yeah, yeah, Do we gotta say it again? Ain't nothing gonna change. All we got is lockdown. We run the game and that's right. People wanna get on down and get
Damn.
down. People wanna let loose and let loose 'cause you know, when the beat is sick, you know you wanna get down with it. Yeah. Are you with it? The middleman, the
Can I put on some shit about Tupac? Why they killed that nigga?
Don't.
Yeah, you're my bad boy. You're my bad boy.
I just already got the link.
A lot of
So,
people
it
have
was
been
quick.
wondering, when is there finally going to be justice in the case of the murder of Tupac Shakur? It's been talked about endlessly for decades in the hip-hop history, and a lot of people were absolutely blown away
What the fuck?
when the last living suspect in the 1996 drive-by shooting of Tupac Shakur was actually indicted in Las Vegas on the murder charge. I'm talking about Keefe D, okay? Keefe D, long known to investigators as one of 4 suspects identified early in the investigation. He isn't the accused gunman, but was described as the group's ringleader by authorities in a news conference. He was eventually charged with murder. Even if you helped commit the crime, they said that he was the shot caller for the group of individuals that committed the crime, and they want to try and actually have justice for Tupac after these decades have gone by. Now, what's so crazy about this, okay, is the fact that although the article called him the last living suspect, Keefe D has repeatedly claimed that actually there was another suspect. There's another person who's very much living who should be in the case. P. Diddy, the Diddler. He's claimed for years, okay, that Diddy actually had $1 million bounty on Tupac, and that's really why this whole thing went down. Let's refresh our memories on this.
Yeah. And I guess you said that Puffy called and said, "Was that us?" And you didn't say nothing.
I didn't say nothing. Yeah, you're right.
There's also, you go into the book, that apparently there was supposed to be $1 million that Zip was supposed to bring back, but he ended up keeping the money and buying a nightclub with it.
That's what the FBI said.
The FBI said that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You guys never got any money?
Never.
For anything?
Nothing. Not even a pair of Sean John drawers. You know what I'm saying?
So he said that they did it. They did it for Tupac. They did Tupac for Diddy, and he never got the money out of it, but he was supposed to be given a whole bunch of cash. Now, reports have now come out to say that Keefe D's apparent trial has been postponed. Rescheduled for August 2026, the defense has been granted extra time to examine decades of evidence in this iconic case. So let's just take a little look back at what some of this decades-old evidence might actually be, and whether or not Diddy was actually involved in this incident, okay? Because basically, all the way back on September the 7th, 1996, this is when Mike Tyson was fighting Bruce Seldon, okay? And basically, this is the highlights of the fight, okay? This is what went down. All right, they were in attendance. Tupac, Keefe D, everybody was in Las Vegas for this fight. It was a wild fight. I don't want to get in too much trouble, but this, you know what I'm saying, this is how it all went down. And
what the fuck?
You know, they have it basically. Just to give you some context, this is the fight. Tupac was there in attendance. Mike Tyson was doing his thing. Okay, right after the fight, though,
probably just going
Tupac decided to get his Mike Tyson on. Okay, and before everyone gets on my case, okay, Tupac, I call him Tupac.
I'm probably going to have to grab more
Tupac.
what you call it.
If I was American, head American accent, I'd probably say Tupac, but I'm English, I say Tupac. Tupac. If I say Tupac, it doesn't. Tupac. That does not make sense. So just for the record. But basically, right after the fight, Tupac Shakur, okay, he decided to try and get his Mike.
In this fucking Discord. I just looked over and shit I was talking. It's crazy.
Running beef, there were chains that were stolen, Death Row were at war with this other group, and basically, okay, they ended up jumping this guy, Orlando Anderson, a Southside Compton Crip, inside the MGM lobby, and I was there recently. Okay.
Las Vegas MGM Grand Hotel.
I was actually there recently.
Death Row Records co-founder Marion Suge Knight is circled. Rap star Tupac Shakur is nearby. Prosecutors say Knight is seen kicking Orlando Anderson, and that act is the alleged probation violation. The video is evidence in Knight's probation revocation hearing. Proof the DA's office says Knight took part in the beating of Anderson last September.
Tupac Shakur and Suge Knight were kicking Orlando, who was on the ground at that time.
Deputy DA Bill Hodgman backed up the video evidence with testimony from the hotel security manager, Annette Machuca, who said she tried to stop the fight. The judge is not allowing Machuca to appear on camera.
Tell us what you saw.
He was kicking him.
More than once?
Yes.
More than twice?
Yes.
More than 3 times?
Yes.
But when the beating victim, Orlando Anderson, took the stand, he testified Knight tried to stop the beating. Again, we cannot show you Anderson on the stand.
I seen him standing right there helping. He was about the only one.
He was
How
helping you,
much
is
do
that
I
correct?
get for selling brick to
Las
local?
Vegas Metro Homicide Detective.
So, you know, there's different versions of the story, right? And it
30,
would
100.
be essentially
Per
just
brick?
2.5 hours after this
Okay,
very
that's what's up.
ill-guided beating that a fan would end up snapping what would be the final photo of Tupac and Suge in the BMW stopped at a red light. Now, moments after this image was taken, obviously,
You mind if I go
the rest
post
is
up,
legend. We know
when I do
that
so,
that's when
post up
shots were fired
behind
into
the
the
beach
vehicle
house and
and
so?
Tupac was critically
Where all them locals be
wounded.
walking down the
He
path.
would end up losing his life, and sadly, the news
Chunky
would report
doing
his
the zone
death.
over
Oddly,
there.
6 days later, it would take quite some time, but
It's a
ultimately
little
his
bit
fate
further
was
down
sealed.
from the
And
house,
like I
but
say,
yeah.
moments after this image, it
That's
all
what I
went down.
usually do. Go down in the house, but like on that strip, you know what I'm
Complications from
talking about.
several bullet wounds
And
sustained
just make
Saturday
sure you're
night,
in the
September
zone so it
7th.
actually
He was
gives us
25
the
years
experience.
old. Shakur was shot
Okay.
4 times after leaving the
It
Mike
won't
Tyson
give us
boxing match in Las Vegas in a car driven by Marion Suge Knight, the head of his label, Death Row Records. The shots were fired from a Cadillac that drove up alongside Knight's BMW, but police still have no leads on a suspect or motive. Tupac had been on a respirator in the hospital and had 1 lung removed. Here's a look back on a turbulent...
So it was serious, man, and you know there was always a chance he might have survived. You know there could have been a fluke, there could have been some luck with his health, but unfortunately he didn't make it, and you know that was just a really tragic incident that just really changed hip hop just forever. You know, but to give you a little bit more context as to
AC.
And also signed him to a $3.5 million record deal. Now, weeks before Tupac gets out, this is unfortunately when this feud would sadly end up claiming its first life. And in an interview with The Art of Dialogue, Mark Curry and Greg Taylor would basically explain how Suge Knight and Campanella Pyru Big Jake actually confronted Diddy at Jermaine Dupri's birthday party, with this actually leading to a violent altercation.
And when we get there, I had been at Jermaine Dupri's party and I seen Jake. I got a business card from him. It said President of Death Row, Jake, right? I was like, cool. And this dude was bigger than Suge. Suge was big, but Jake was bigger than he was, right? And he was looking for Puff and they was looking for Jermaine and them there. And I didn't see them at their own party. I'm like, where's these guys at? I get over to the Platinum House. They're all in there. So we walk in and it's Jermaine Dupri, his security, Puff, the Wolf. And Jake looks in and see these guys, right? I'll never forget that bend over. He looked over, he looked at that door and seeing that they was in there. Came right to the. He went back and got Suge. Suge came back. Boom, 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 boom. He came right in and slapped the out of Jermaine Dupri. Jermaine ran out the goddamn club. You know, my boy Jermaine. Shout out Jermaine. It was no way he could even compete with that because he slapped his security too. They beat his security. The nigga supposed to be.
So you got these guys, they're going to war with each other's securities. They're pulling up, securities are slapping people out, people are getting chased through the club. It's no surprise then that this led to a very, very ugly escalation, man.
He protected them, and oh man, it was a nightmare. And Jermaine ran out, his security ran out. Jake and shit birthday. And on his birthday, he got slapped like that. He hit that dude, no, like, he didn't even speak to him. What's up? Bah! Jermaine ran. So then we like, oh, snap. Right? And Puff was standing right there, and he snatched Puff off his feet. This is the first time I've ever seen a man dangling in the air off their feet with one hand. Suge had him with one hand and was shaking him. Like, what's up?
Suge Knight really had Puff by the neck and was shaking him. And, you know what I'm saying? I guess, you know, he must have not been oiled up that night. He managed to get a good grip on him. He was shaking him. The coins probably fell out his pocket.
You've been flying all around the country since you had me go there and do that thing for you. What's up with Mary J. Blige Publishing? What's up with Jodeci Publishing? Puff go, yo, Suge, I ain't gonna be your bitch. Grabbed his arm with his right hand, and Suge shook him again. Then Wolf reached over and grabbed him. Wolf was so gangster. He said, boom, Suge ain't going down like this no more. And enough was enough. And he brought Puff out the air and set him back on his feet. And him and Puff went at it with Suge. They both went at it with him, right? Then Jake reached over and grabbed the two niggas that was sitting at the bar that ain't had nothing to do with it. He grabbed this Jamaican dude, the smallest one. The littlest dude, he grabbed this dude like, ugh! And dude go like this and go, me not no fan of yours. I don't watch television. Jake was like, ooh, we was all like, ooh, he grabbed the live wire. Like, this dude said, you don't watch TV. So he set him back down. We like, whoa. And we.
So apparently, right, after this, while this section of the altercation, it just ended in a little fisticuffs, a little shake around, you know what I'm saying, a little shake it up kind of maneuver. Apparently things did actually escalate once they got outside of the club in a very, very sad way. The fight ended. They left the venue, and apparently it was at this point that a lone gunman actually ran up and ended up shooting Big Jake, who was, you know, Suge Knight's close friend, who was rolling with them at the night. And apparently Suge avoided getting hit by using Diddy quite literally as a human shield.
We like, nah, let them niggas fight it out. So we went up, we had a room upstairs, and then we just shoot dice in there. We go up there, and it was Suge, Puff, Wolf, and Jake with V walking to the room. We stood out, let them go in, and held the door down where everybody was watching. And all you can hear was boom, 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 boom. They was in there fighting like a motherfucker. And all of a sudden, V opened the door, and there goes Suge and Puff standing there like this, hugged up. We like, oh, they worked that out. They worked that stuff. It was like, quick. And we all came down. We came out the club. It was like the beef was squashed. We came down the dance floor, and we were walking out the Platinum, and it had a little atrium. And I'll never forget, because I can see it, the tour bus across the street. We standing there, Suge's in front of, with Puff, they walked to the limo, hugged up. Jake and Wolf is walking behind them. All of a sudden, somebody started shooting across the street. And I knew Mark was at the front of the gates. Yeah, I'm at the front. I know he was up there strapped. And I'm like, who the f is out there shooting across the street? I can see the dude just busting, bop, 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 bop. And the security ran. The cop, The Atlanta PD ran that we paid to protect us from unwanted attacks and When soon as that dude started shooting, the cops ran. I'm like, oh, it's the first one. We in trouble. The cops ran. Yeah. Then all of a sudden, the dude just came out of nowhere. Where everybody was looking that way, this dude came out of nowhere and flashed like the Flash and spent, and he touched Jake with that gun. I never seen that before. Them New York niggas is the coldest killing niggas I ever seen in history. They killed that play. They called the play for the overlay. They started shooting across the street to make everybody look. We looked. The dude came out of nowhere and just touched Jake. And Jake was about 400 pounds. He hit him like, what, 4 times, 7 times? 5. I mean, he just kept shooting, just touching him, bop, bop, bop. But the whole time he was looking at Suge, like, you next, nigga. And we like, oh, and I'm standing right behind him. We like, it's happening so fast. And then he pulled out on Suge to blast Suge. And I thought it was a girl, because it was screaming like a girl.
It could have been 2 times, because when I looked, I seen him have Puff. That's when he had Puff in that chokehold. When
So he's saying he had Puffy in a chokehold, low-key, protecting himself.
Jake was doing that. The reason why, just imagine, if the girl was in front of, why he wouldn't have let the girl have it too? If he just finished doing what he was doing, if it was a girl, and that was all that was protecting him at that time, she would have got it too that night. I couldn't do it. That's why he grabbed somebody he couldn't shoot at. That's why he looking at him like, yo, this should have been you, but I can't get you right now, but I got him.
To let you know.
Yeah, to let you know.
That's why he looked at him like that.
That's why he would look, because he couldn't do nothing to him, because Puff was right there.
So hold on. So then he drew down on Suge to give it to him, and Suge snatched Puff up.
Yeah, that's when
and that's when they went shoot
with that tan linen suit on.
And then he backed, because they was going to the limo. Then they backed up to the back door. We go back into the back door to the club.
That's when he
snatched the girl.
Yeah. That's when he was running crazy. Remember, he was like, oh shit.
I know I was running. I don't know. All I know, that nigga started shooting. It was like slow mo camera, like it was like your whole life flashed before your eyes.
Yeah, but when he was shooting, I knew he wasn't gonna shoot me, because I told you I should see him all the time. Like I used to be the one that served, Chris Styles every night. So when he was shooting, it let me know that I could actually look at it, because I said, he's not going to shoot me, he's shooting somebody else. So I was able to sit there and look like this and go, wow.
Yeah. I've never seen it.
It's crazy, man. It's actually a crazy story. Now, later on, they would also open up, basically, that Diddy himself, the slippery character he is, he denied all involvement in this hit, but Suge and the Pyrus, they blamed Diddy, and they vowed revenge after Big Jake died at the hospital that night, man.
Poor dudes. So when I got around that corner and seen Jack down there, and he was Jake trying to bring him back, Suge and Puff was like right here.
Right there, over to the right.
Puff kept going, man, it's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right. Suge was like, it's gonna be all right. Tell your kids it's gonna be all right. Tell your moms it's gonna be all right. Then he like slaps Puff again. Bow! He hit that nigga so hard and so fast, you ain't have time to react. I felt sorry for Puff.
Man.
Because he kept trying to explain that he was innocent, that he ain't had shit to do with this. He said, Suge, there you go, man. I ain't got shit to do with this, man.
He's like, what you mean you ain't got nothing to do with this?
He was like, it's gonna be all right, though, Suge. It's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right. Then I was like, you know what? This nigga dying. The ambulance is taking forever. I said, in Detroit, we gotta play. Let's throw this nigga car and take him to the hospital. Right down the street. Just load him up and take him. So we go to load up Jake, and the police drew down on us. I said, y'all both gonna draw down on us after we try to save a black man's life. But it's, when the dude was shooting across the street, y'all ran. Y'all supposed to run to the action instead of running from the action, but y'all gonna draw us down on us after we tried to save this man's life.
Got bad. They broke bad.
So they made us wait for the ambulance to come. We waited. So it was like, all of us while we was there. Then the 4 guys came. They were like the X-Clan, or I thought they were like
the X-Clan, man. It looked like them because they had the African, the African stuff. It looked just like the X-Clan.
They were like, yo, another black man shot dead in the streets. Is what they said. They jumped out, was like, and they walked up and they seen Suge. It was like that. They seen Puff, was like, they seen Dallas, they seen Jermaine. They were like, hey man, we trying to get to where y'all at, and y'all out these streets, y'all trying to get to the streets where we at. Why every time we see y'all, we see death?
Every time we see y'all, we see nothing but death.
And we was like, oh, snap, right? And then Suge kept going, it's gonna be all right, Suge. They kept going back. They were going back and forth. It's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right. Right? And then the police were saying, when they seen it with Suge and Puff, the police said.
So look, all right, this really just was a messed up situation, okay? Essentially, okay, this is a situation where Suge was going to vow revenge. And around this time, Diddy needed the protection that he knew how serious this was. So he apparently linked up with the Southside Compton Crips through his godfather, Eric Von Zip. Now, in an interview on AGTV, a retired NYPD officer actually would claim that Eric Von Zip was known as the king of PCP. This is a serious character, okay?
Yeah, so Eric Von Zip was was known to me as somebody who was at one time worked with Melvin Combs, who was Puffy's father. He was a drug dealer in Harlem. He was known as being the king of PCP in New York. And if you wanted
Zip or
to...
Melvin, I'm sorry.
Zip.
Okay.
So Eric Von Zip was known as the PCP king. If you wanted liquid PCP, he had it, and he'd sell you it in like huge, allotments. Back then, guys were dipping, weed, joint into PCP, smoking it, and doing really crazy stuff. I guess it's like kind of like a meth speed kind of thing, but it also has, the ability to make people violent.
So this is the sorts of people that Diddy's getting around him for protection, all right? So things are getting very serious and they're really spiraling out of control. Now, according to comedian TK Kirkland, a close friend of Zip, Zip had also been romantically involved with Diddy's mother at one point, so this was getting very conflicted.
Zip is one of those. Listen, when we would go shopping, Zip would get in 20 cars before we got into the main car. Before we got to the
just jump from car to car?
We would go from car 10 blocks. I thought that was just in the movies when I saw it.
So he had cars he owned parked in different
Zip
locations?
had cars, my man.
Wow.
We would get in one car to the other.
Someone told me, I forgot who this was, said that before he passed, he was dating Puffy's mom.
Yeah,
That's
I
true.
thought that was a money grab. That's what I said. Motherfucker, that's exactly what I said. That motherfucker
Oh, you talked
Zip.
about it?
Yeah, I said that motherfucker Zip. Cause me and his sister's tight too to this day, right? I said that motherfucker Zip. He's something else, but
yeah,
Zip something.
So the king of PCP, Zip, all right, he allegedly was moving product all across state lines, and apparently one of his alleged West Coast partners was the Southside Compton Crips. Now, Keefe D, the man later fingered for the murder of Tupac Shakur, he would apparently, okay, according to some conversations on Vlad TV, he would apparently essentially, end up revealing that he was basically with Zip. Right, Keefe D was apparently with Zip when Diddy called asking for protection, and essentially he aligned Bad Boy with the Crips against Death Row and the Pyru Blood, so it became an interstate Crips versus Blood gang war, all off the back of Diddy linking up with these Crips, and basically Keefe D and Death Row will tap in with the Bloods. It became Crips versus Bloods interstate. Okay. and
Before
Keefe
hit
D
him
break
up,
it down. This is Keefe D break.
was Puffy approaching y'all for security and protection?
No, he had a West Coast tour coming up.
Okay.
San Diego, San Jose, the little areas, Anaheim, LA, stuff like that, Vegas. So he called when I met Zip. I don't know whether they had set this up or not, but Zip came pick me up. We rolling up Greenleaf in our neighborhood, and his phone ring, boom, and it was Puff. And he like, you think it's cool to come out here and do concerts? I'm like, why wouldn't it be cool? So he like, the big CEO dude. So
Shook.
Yeah. I like, damn. What's going on with y'all? He like, man, shit, you think it's cool? I'm like, shit, just let me know the dates and give me some tickets. We had the Crips there. But I see he was trying to play us against each other. Crips, Bloods, you know what I'm saying? Sugar Blood, we the Crips. So I guess that was his protecting thing going.
Okay, so you just...
So basically, right, Bad Boy tapped in with a bunch of Crips. Death Row tapped in with the Pyrus. Diddy's over there in New York, but he's basically got this LA gang war popping off, right? And now bear in mind, all of this is going on while Tupac is dealing with legal situations. He signs his multi-million-dollar deal so that he can get out on bond. And when Pac bonds out, he immediately declares war on Diddy, all right? He declares war on the Diddler long before we knew how despicable the Diddler really was behind the scenes. He declared war on Diddy, Biggie, and the whole of the Bad Boy record label, and he accused them all of being involved in the Quad setup, or at least knowing who was, which arguably we have established is actually true.
Because they know the prodigal son has returned. I'm alive. The ghost is walking around. You know what I mean? And I'm alive talking. It was never a beef. It's only a difference in opinion. That's like me being mad at my little brother because he getting cash now. I'm not mad at that. I'm just mad at my little brother when he don't respect me. Now, when you don't respect me, I'm gonna spank your ass. I don't give a fuck how rich you got on the block. I'm your big brother. I will break your big ass down. Everybody thinks that I disrespected or I love my East Coast fans. I'm from there. I'm eating New York pizza. I drive New York Jeeps. I want to hear New York. But I'm saying, let's keep it real for a second. If you have the love of music that you are, study. Go back and study. Study why I would be mad. Study why I would be mad when half of New York, half of the major New York rappers, or they managers, or they agents, or they somebody was there when I got shot, and nobody couldn't give me no information. Just study that. That's all I ask. If you're gonna act like you a gangster or a G or the king of New York, I'm gonna expect that. And when you don't come through, then I'm gonna crush your empire, and that's what it's time for.
So he said he's going to crush their empire. He said everybody knew what was going on. He said, I got shot in your studio. You're supposed to be the king of New York and you don't know what's going on. I see what's going on here for real. Now, okay, by the end of 1995, okay, at a Death Row Christmas party, apparently a record executive loosely tied to Diddy was actually interrogated and beaten by Suge Knight, Tupac, Dr. Dre of all people. Apparently Dre was there. And several Pyrus looking for information on Diddy. Now, knowing Diddy, he might have liked that. He might have actually enjoyed getting slapped around by some big old by some real bad boys, okay? And Mike Dorsey from the Murder Rap channel actually did an amazing job covering this on his channel, so let's hear what he had to say about this alleged incident.
So Suge allegedly has his brother-in-law, Norris Anderson, clear everyone out of the VIP room and then stand outside the door. And left in the room with Bell is allegedly Suge Knight, Tupac Shakur, Dr. Dre, a male black with gold teeth whose name Bell doesn't catch, so he's just referred to in this report as Gold Teeth, and 2 other men. Suge puts a chair in the middle of the room and tells Bell to have a seat, and Suge takes a seat in front of him. Suge asks him about Puffy and asks again why Bell didn't cooperate, and Bell tells him he doesn't want to get involved. Suge asks him questions about Combs' parents and where his mother lives, where Puffy's office is. And then this is interesting to me. Bell claims that Tupac would whisper into Knight's ear and he would ask more questions. So it's like Tupac is feeding questions to Suge during this interrogation. And during these questions, Gold Teeth offers his own input, which is hitting Bell on the side of the face. And he says, this is for the person who died, most likely a reference to Jake Robles, and we're going to kill you. And he or another person in the room also says, that was our homie that died. So Bell is beaten with fists and champagne bottles, and Suge tells him he's going to have to deliver Puffy. And Tupac says Bell is lying about not knowing where Combs was at. And one of the other men tells him, I could kill you now if Knight says so. And then Suge goes into the bathroom and comes out with a glass that Bell believes is full of urine. And Suge hands the glass of piss over to Bell, and lucky for him, Gold Teeth hits him again, and this makes him drop the glass, and at that point he makes a break for it, and he runs out to a nearby balcony, hoping to either jump off of it, or to at least be seen and get someone's attention. But Suge and Tupac grab him before he can get over the railing, and he holds on tight, and it takes about half a minute for them to break him free, hitting his hands to get him to let go. But lucky for him, even though he doesn't make it over, the gambit works, because downstairs, his friend the photographer sees him, quote, spread out on the balcony, and he thinks he sees Tupac making a stabbing motion at Bell. And as they're dragging him back into the room, Bell claimed that Tupac is hitting him on the neck. So they get him back inside the room, and Bell's friend said that he saw Suge come back outside and straighten out a Christmas tree. Because, you know, Suge's all about that holiday spirit. So the friend decides that Bell...
all about that holiday spirit, man. So look, the man himself, okay, Mark Anthony Bell, he's apparently beaten up and robbed. And essentially, this is all just, you know, for not providing the information and as revenge for Big Jake, they basically just do a number on him and just completely just absolutely smash him in, man. It's crazy.
Well, they go check it out. Meanwhile, back inside the room, the altercation turns into a full-on beatdown after they drag Bell off of the balcony, with everyone hitting and kicking him and throwing things at him. And Suge supposedly says body blows only. And Gold Teeth puts Bell in a chokehold for a minute or two and says this is for our friend that died. And Bell nearly passes out and decides to just go with it, and he plays dead. And while he's on the floor, someone takes his watch off his wrist, and he also loses his gold chain and his wallet. And his attackers also consider taking his diamond earring. Altogether, about 30 grand worth of items and cash are taken off of him. Then they back off, and he stands up, and Suge suddenly acts like the beating never happened. And he offers him money, allegedly saying, if you come over to our side, I'll make you rich. And you can be a part of this team, I can make you rich. Do you want to make 500,000 or $1 million? Do you have friends that could deliver? So it's like, you may not know where Puffy stays in LA, but I bet you know people who do. And then they hear people talking on portable radios, and they get the heads up that the cops have arrived. And Suge walks Bell to the bathroom and tells him to clean himself up, and that if he wants his jewelry back, he can call Suge tomorrow and, quote, we'll talk about it. Gold Teeth then asks Suge, should I do him? And Suge was probably thinking, what, I just asked the guy to clean himself up and call me tomorrow. Like, weren't you listening? So Suge says he's good. And Gold Teeth tells Bell, you're lucky that he said you were good. And I think Gold Teeth needs to just settle down.
So he nearly had this man murdered, right? Gold Teeth was basically ready to have him murdered. Now, off the back of this, okay, out of nowhere, very, very disrespectful, Suge Knight also tries to get back at Diddy by spending time with Diddy's ex, Misa Hilton. And basically, his son, Justin Combs, even ends up spending time with Diddy, okay? Misa Hilton, Justin Combs, and Suge Knight. That's her legs picture to the far left. That's Justin Combs with Suge. Now, this is insanity. Okay, this is murder talk. Okay, that beef was very, very personal. Suge is giving the springs in that sofa a run for its money. That's facts, man. He was a big man. But anyway, things would just continue to escalate from here. And of course, as you may well know, or you may not know, by July 1996, this is the summer of 96, and this is when Orlando Anderson, who's Keefe D's nephew, allegedly ends up robbing a Death Row affiliated Pyru for his chain.
This is a flashback episode. One of the Bloods in Suge Knight's inner circle at Death Row, named Trayvon Lane, had a beef with a Crip rival named Orlando Anderson, which had reached a boiling point during a fight at the Lakewood Mall, just a few miles from Compton, where Anderson and some other Crips had tried to take Trayvon's Death Row medallion. From what I've heard from a couple of sources, it was decided after this incident that the next time the Bloods aligned with Death Row saw Orlando Anderson, it was on.
They said it was on site, right? And obviously it did end up being on site when they bumped into each other at the Mike Tyson fight. Months later at this Tyson fight, okay, Pac and Suge's entourage, they end up spotting Orlando Brown and they jump him right there in the MGM Grand lobby, man. Beautiful lobby.
People who were there. Trayvon Lane and the other gang members from Compton who were with Suge and Tupac as they came out of the Tyson fight spotted Orlando Anderson in the crowd. Anderson and his uncle, Keefe D, had picked up tickets from a Rollin' 60s Crip when they got to Vegas. But since they were scalped, the seats weren't together, so they had split up and agreed to meet back up at the hotel's food court after the fight. So Anderson was either on his way to the food court or had paused to see if he could spot any of his friends in the crowd when the Death Row entourage saw him. So Tupac then sees that his friends are kind of looking at this guy in the crowd, and he knew about the beef with Anderson, but he didn't know what the guy looked like. And this is where the infamous claim that Trayvon Lane whispered in Tupac's ear, and then Pac took off after Anderson, came from. As if Trayvon told him to go punch the dude, which I don't think is what happened. I believe that Tupac was simply told something like, that's the guy we've been talking about, and not realizing that Pac would just take off on his own and lay Anderson out. But that's what Tupac did, and most of it, after he'd thrown the first couple of punches and knocked Anderson to the ground, was captured on MGM security cameras. There's Anderson on the ground, as the rest of Tupac's group join in the beatdown. There's Suge Knight with a little kick that would violate his probation and send him to prison months later. There's Tupac trying to get another kick in. There's Neckbone in black and Buntry in white with a hat, both well-known guys from the neighborhood who were associated with Death Row. And that appears to be Trayvon, dressed kind of like Buntry in a white shirt and a fedora, but with dark pants instead of white. So casino security are in the middle of it almost immediately, shielding Anderson from the kicks. And then the Death Row entourage hightails it, led by Tupac and Suge, and the network of security cameras tracks their movement through the huge casino. This is an interesting moment as they're walking through the casino. Neckbone gives Trayvon Lane a little punch. Kind of like, we did it, man. We got him back.
We're saying, hey, we got back, man. Get back has been achieved. And so this is where some of the diabolical self-snitching takes place, right? So according to Keefe D's 2019 book, Compton Street Legend, I've got some excerpts here in my little helpful little research document. Basically, this is when the Southside Compton Crips immediately started planning their retaliation, okay? And this is an excerpt from the books I'll read you. It says, when I asked him what happened, he said them Death Row dudes rushed me. One of them dudes from the Lakewood Mall was running with that boy that started that stuff. A few East Coast Crips came over and asked if we wanted them to go with us. Nah, we're good. We'll handle our stuff. But good looking out. We appreciated their offer, but this was a matter we determined to handle ourselves. We couldn't let no record company, studio gangsters do us like that. Had they lost their effing rapping ass minds? On top of that, Puffy had already talked to me about helping him out with the problem he was having with them dudes. That was a double whammy. Then you add on top of that the fact that we helped Suge with the money to get his record business going, and the dude's gonna bite the hand that fed him? Add insult to injury because Suge still hadn't paid Boss Man his money back, got too big for his britches, and stopped taking Boss Man's calls. Strike three, homie, you're out. And then they would go on to basically discuss the $1 million bounty that was on Suge and Tupac's heads at this time they were ready to collect. They said the South Side had not gone down to Vegas thinking about marrying Suge Knight or Tupac Shakur. We were out there to do what we had been doing in Vegas for years. Eat, drink, and be merry. When conversations would come up about $1 million bounty on the heads of Suge and Tupac Shakur, that was business. But after Tupac, Suge, and them Death Row dudes jumped on my nephew Baby Lane, that became ominously personal. While we were waiting for the valet to bring our cars, Zip seized the opportunity and called me over to his Benz. Zip was a big-time New York player, pimp, and hustler who would come out to California to handle his business and kick it with us sometimes. As I walked up to the driver's side window, I noticed that the rapper Foxy Brown was in the car with Zip. He instructed her to step out the car and motioned for me to jump in. Zip had a hidden compartment that he opened up. He reached in and pulled back a Glock, pulled a black Glock 40 out and he turned to me and said it's time to get the money. Zip handed me the 17-shot pistol, which I promptly put down the back waist of my pants. I hopped out the car, held the door open for Foxy Brown to get in, and closed the door, and they pulled off. So once again, Mike Dorsey from the Murder Rap would summarize what happened next in great detail. He would basically explain how Keefe D and his crew followed Tupac to another venue, but left after being spotted by Death Row security.
And then the Crips and some of the New Yorkers, not including Zip, get into a van and a white Cadillac and go to Suge's Club 662, which is about 2.5 miles off the Vegas Strip, where Tupac will be performing in a show later that night. And that had been advertised. Everyone knew about it.
You know what happened? I was out in the van with the busters. You know what I'm saying? It's 2 cars going to 662. Yeah, the van and the Cadillac.
And in the parking lot at Club 662, the Crips lie in wait. But after a while, they decide to leave when they realize that police are there doing traffic control, and the Bloods doing security at the club are starting to recognize them. This claim by Keefe was confirmed by a former Compton Pyru named Mob James, who was working security at the door and spotted the Southsiders in the Cadillac.
I was out on the parking lot in front of the club. I see the Cadillac. That's Southside right there. They was parked like right.
So basically, they was on him. They was on his ass, as King Von would say, okay? And then after this, okay,
That
after
nigga said as
abandoning their
King
original
Von would
plan, they would
say.
end up changing vehicles,
That's
and
crazy.
that's when they ran into Tupac and Suge by complete chance. And according to Keefe D, Suge looked at them directly, and that's when shots got flying.
Terrence Brown, a.k.a. T. Brown, is the driver, and DeAndre Smith, a.k.a. Big Dre, is in the backseat with Orlando Anderson.
Stopped at the liquor store. I got out the van with the ass, jumped in the Cadillac. No, it was buster this kid.
So the van and the Cadillac part ways. And on their way back to the Strip, Keefe and Anderson and the other guys in the white Cadillac encounter Suge and Tupac and their entourage coming the other way.
I was like, there you go. Yeah, the U-turn. We wasn't going to make it. This was on the U-turn. It was in the middle lane. We just pulled up outside, checked every car, see where they were.
And they catch up with the entourage at the next major intersection, and Keefe supposedly hands a gun to the backseat, which Orlando Anderson grabs, and Anderson fires the shots that ultimately kill Tupac and wound Suge.
He was Ray was like, no. And Lane was like, dude, pop. He leaned over, and the window rolled down the window, pop.
And then the Crips speed off into the night, and Tupac dies from his wounds at a local hospital 6 days later. So that's how Tupac was killed. And here's how law enforcement came to know this. First of all, the Blood gang members who were around Death Row, they knew that night that it was the Southside Crips that did it. According to Keefe, Suge looked right at him when the shooting happened.
You say Suge looks over, he sees you?
Yeah.
He looks right at you?
Yeah, he looked at me.
Why are you looking right at him?
I didn't know what he done since we were 7, 8 years old.
Suge and Keefe.
So he said Suge looked right at them. Okay, they knew each other from way back. They knew what was going on, all right? And basically, they knew what was on. Really, they were lacking. Ultimately, that is actually the cold hard truth, is that they were low-key actually lacking in this situation. Now, the LAPD would identify Orlando Anderson as the shooter, and they sent him to Vegas, okay? But poor cooperation between departments basically made the case go cold, okay? They basically were going to try and get him. And over the years, ultimately, all the suspects except for Keefe D ended up dying in unrelated incidents.
So police in LA are hearing stories like this from their informants. And then a gang war explodes there, with Bloods trying to get revenge on the Crips. So Compton PD launches a huge raid on dozens of gang member houses on both sides of the conflict, trying to end the war. And Orlando Anderson is taken into custody, and they hand him over to Las Vegas police. They hand Tupac's killer over to Vegas on a silver platter. Just a few months after Tupac's murder, a Las Vegas Metro homicide sergeant told the media, "We consider Mr. Anderson to be a suspect in the shooting." So they definitely knew. But of course, Anderson denies everything, and Vegas can't build a case, in part, I think, because they didn't trust Compton PD. But also because police in Vegas didn't know anything about Compton gangs, any more than Compton PD would know about gangs in Las Vegas. And so, the case went cold, and Tupac's killer walked free. Orlando Anderson was eventually killed at a car wash in Compton, barely a year and a half later, in a shootout that he supposedly instigated over a drug dispute. And he took 2 more lives with him when he died. Orlando's friend, Big Dre Smith, who was in the back seat with him, died from medical issues in 2004. And T. Brown, the driver, was killed at a marijuana dispensary in Compton in 2015, along with the shop's owner, in a double murder that's still unsolved. And Keefe lived to tell police about what happened a dozen years later. And after...
So he apparently told the police what happened, okay? He ends up getting arrested on drug charges in 2008, and ironically, he ends up negotiating a proffer deal, or he ends up negotiating a deal with the LAPD to tell them everything about Tupac's murder under an agreement. And it says Tupac Shakur murder suspect made a deal with the feds 14 years ago that could hurt the case. Dwayne Davis is widely believed to have spoken to federal authorities in Los Angeles about Shakur's murder in a deal in which his statements couldn't be used against him. But here's the ironic thing, okay? Here's the ironic thing. That immunity only applied to what he said on that day, so the Las Vegas PD begun building a case using his public interviews, his book, and his confessions. Basically, everything he said after the proffer was self-snitching, and they built the whole case on him based on this, okay? And look, you got all these interviews that he did. I'm not trying to throw Vlad under the bus. I've read you the excerpts from his book where he basically broke it all down. He's got other interviews, Urban City, Art of Dialogue. They're awfully suspiciously similar to Vlad's thumbnails, but we're gonna let that go. Whole bunch of interviews, man. Whole bunch of interviews, okay? And then ironically, we'll just round it off with this last moment, man. Diddy reacting to being asked if he put a hit on Tupac Shakur on the Breakfast Club, right? We'll answer it once and for all.
Now, it was this documentary that claimed, which we know wasn't true.
Yeah, check this out. We don't talk about things that are nonsense. We don't even entertain nonsense, my brother. So we're not even going to even go there with all due respect, but I appreciate you as a journalist asking. Thank you.
Because you listen, 7 years ago, I'd have been like, yo, did you have somebody kill Pac? But no, you have to do it like a journalist.
Yeah, no, I mean, we wouldn't even get into nonsense like that. You know what I'm saying? It's nonsense.
Which we never believed, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, the way you're rubbing his head, man. The pen movements, the shades on, finger brushing his hair, visible nervousness, no eye contact. That man was extremely uncomfortable. Diddy didn't even let him finish the question. He responded hella fast and was rubbing his head non-stop. I've only done 1 year of psychology class and I can tell you something ain't right. The quick smile after Diddy said, I appreciate you as a journalist asking is called Duper's Delight. He went from Puff Daddy to P. Diddy to P. Did It. We don't talk about the nonsense, but when they brought up 50 calling him gay, called that nonsense but gave the conversation some attention. Nah, brother, you ain't ducking nonsense, that's just guilt. Dang, that looked kind of suspect when he started rubbing his head and stuttering. You know what would have been funny? If they pulled out a lie detector test and said, Puffy, let's put this documentary to rest and do a lie detector test right now live. It would have been the first time you ever seen. Oh, man. For anyone still not sure, Diddy raps about it in Black Rob's track Muscle Game. He says, F with me, I'll put $1 million on your head, erase you and your whole family, biatch. The way he says biatch was the way that Pac used to say it. Pac was known for saying it in that same tone. He was mocking Pac's death. What? I ain't gonna lie, there's some suspect lyrics on this track, Muscle Game, man. There are some very, very suspect lyrics on here. Diddy, he said, you see in this game, only the strong will survive and the weak shall perish. See, a lot of cats think with their brawn, not with their brain. Ha, come on, man. F with me, I'll drop $1 million on your head, erase you and your whole family, bitch. Come on now, that's muscle. This might be a diss. You think? Might be a diss to Tupac after his death. It's alleged that Puff P. Diddy put $1 million on Tupac and the Southside Crips collected it when they shot him in Vegas after the fight. But he ain't done self-snitching, man. See, talk is cheap. But bad boys move in silence. Not on this song. Not on this song. You ain't even going to hear me coming. Ha ha! You're just going to wake up with a bunch of angels flying around your head. You feel me? You're dealing with another type of muscle. Okay? And this is verse 5 with Black Rob and Diddy. Now, being that it's all out war, I'm bringing more than that 4-4. Come on, take that, take that. Watch me dispose of y'all. Y'all fraud-ass dudes. Tape made me bored-ass dudes. Gun bigger than your sword-ass dudes. Now enter the ring, gun drawn, making moves like pawns. 2 at a time, coming for mine like it's on. CBS, he can't be serious. Finesse, he don't believe I keep a gun under the vest. This is crazy. And this is verse 6 with Mark Curry and Diddy. You think you can destroy this empire we built from scratch? You're stupid. I wouldn't care how ruthless your crew is. We got defense for this area. Try to attack mad dudes on the barriers. Just dying to blast back, bitch. There'll be no giving and taking. Definitely no breaking. Laws we laid down, here's the situation. Severe torture is what those who offend us face. I show no love for a punk-ass dude we hate. Trying to pay me no brow and then come up missing. Happen to hard-haired dudes when they don't listen. I gave you fair warning about the danger you're messing with. A stranger invading a street corner is a goner. Try me if you think it's a lie. The attitude many dudes have, but in the process, many die. Thinking they can step to the block and bogart. I couldn't see it happening. Warned them first. Get the F out of Dodge. Collision. Diddy. This is our game right here. We ain't playing with you weak dudes. Come on now. I've been doing this for too long, man.
This
If you
nigga's
ain't
sick
got the
of
muscle,
me.
better have that hustle. It's 1999. No more Mr. Nice Guy. I've been nice too long. I'm going to start making you dudes disappear, man. First, I'm going to take your records off the radio. Then I'm going to mother effing erase your social security number, you know. Take your birth certificate out the file. I'm going to do that to your whole effing family. I ain't going to have no mercy on you. You understand? Come on, no, Mr. Nice Guy. If you ain't got the muscle, you better have the hustle or keep your mother effing mouth shut. Biatch. You tell me in the comments, do you think Diddy did it? Did Diddy did it? Did the diddler did it? I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. When he had that one line, what did he say? F with me, I'll drop $1 million on your head, erase you. Bruh. bruh, did he, man? Just chill. Keefy D, if he's got any evidence that puts Diddy at the scene, he might be throwing him under the bus, man. It would not surprise me, people. But you let me know what you think down in the comments. This shit crazy. I ain't gonna lie, this shit actually crazy. This honeycomb crazy out here, okay? Let me know what you thought of this breakdown, man. I'm super tired. This one's gone long, but shit's crazy. All right, so when this trial happens, you know I'll be keeping you updated. Absolute madness. Madness, right? Appreciate you watching. Catch you in the next video. I'm out.
Yep. That'll be ending.
Uncut and extended, go to patreon.com/TraplawRoss where you can get those for just $2.
Alright, boom. We're pulling up on the guy 6'9", and we have to pull up in 6'9's whip, man. We got the bright green, slime green Lamborghini Urus. It's going crazy, man. Let's listen to it. I ain't never driven one of these before, man. You gotta hear this engine and this exhaust. It's crazy. Listen. Let me see. Come on, man, we're about to go crazy, man. Get it. All right, we're driving to 6'9's crib. I can't believe I'm even saying that, man. We're pulling up in the 6'9 bright yellow Urus. I don't know if it's yellow or green. But yeah, man, been driving the Urus for like 45 minutes, man. It's pretty nice. Got that Corsa mode, you know what I'm saying? Definitely gets crazy. Got all kind of exhaust pops and stuff. So we turn up in style, I'm not gonna lie. We can get used to this. We're driving through Florida, man. We're trying to pull up on 6'9. Like, I'm getting to know like his local area. Like, these are probably the little shops and stores that my boy be shopping in out here, man. So yeah, it's kind of surreal to even think that we're just gonna pull up on 6'9, but we're really out here, man. He told us he's gonna have breakfast prepared. You know what I mean? We're trying to get a tour of the crib, tour of the man. We'll see, man. We're outside. Happening, man. How are you?
That's the dopest shirt I've seen.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, the dopest.
You feeling that?
Yeah, it looks like a life.
Trapmore gang, I've been covering the diabolical and backstabbing ways of Atlanta rappers for quite some time on this channel, but one of the most flagrant examples of Atlanta rappers being super weird and super phony and fake is in the case of the beef between Youngboy and Lil Durk, because there have been Atlanta artists that did absolutely anything they could to get on their knees, okay, and suck any clout they could out of the OTF camp and Lil Durk when Durk was out here, when Durk and King Von were turning up in Atlanta, all right? They were doing everything. Durk, please, I'll diss dead people with you, Durk. Anything to be around you, Lil Durk. But now Lil Durk's facing murder for hire charges federally. It's possible that Lil Durk might never be coming back, okay? And now everybody's changing their tune. There's a lot of people coming out to say that, yo, all of you street rappers that were showing overly weird love for Lil Durk when he was out here raising hell in the streets of Atlanta. I've just dropped my phones. Well, all these guys who were friendly and cool with NBA Youngboy previously, okay, now Durk's locked up on federal murder for hire charges, and Youngboy's the hottest thing in the rap game. He's back outside. It ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. It was all well and good when you were jumping on songs dissing Youngboy, all right? He was frontlining with Durk, and then basically, yeah, Youngboy's in jail, Youngboy. Now Youngboy's back out and he's the hottest thing out here, and a lot of people are not showing love. Where's Free Durk? And I don't think Durk should be free. But I'm wondering where all this Free Durk talk is. And I know a lot of people are going to be pissed off about this video, but I'm going to be the only person in the media scene who's going to spit facts about this situation. So get your mad, pissed off comments down there. Like, get them in early. I know how you guys are doing. You don't even watch the video. Oh, take this down. Oh, take this down. Shut the hell up, bro. Get in the comments and get salty already before we've even got into it. And just lay back and let these facts wash over you. Because I'm basically going to give an unfiltered view as to exactly what's going on with Youngboy, Durk, Atlanta, and the whole story, the whole timeline. And nobody's going to be safe. Nobody's going to be able to run and hide from this video, okay? And even Lil Woody, okay, the king of snitching, the man who single-handedly saved Atlanta by telling, okay, he saved Young Thug. Young Thug got saved by a rat. You want to talk about, oh, rats this, rats that. You got saved by a rat. Now you're saying F the streets and it's all good. And 21 Savage is talking about, oh, we can clean up ratting. We can clean up your face for money. Oh, ratting don't even matter. We cleaned up people's faces before. We swept it under the rug before. Well, you all got saved by a king rat. And even the king rat, Lil Woody himself, he's popped out to basically say no one in Atlanta wants to save Free Durk. And apparently a lot of artists in Atlanta are actually quietly relieved that Durk got locked up. But before I get into all of that and I go completely nuclear on Atlanta, okay, on behalf of the 4K Trey Slimes, I need to take you all the way back to the start. I'm going to give you the entire timeline of the friendships between these guys, okay, the kind of how these Atlanta goons were moving, playing both sides of this beef, and still think they can play both sides, but unfortunately it's ended up not working out that way, okay? So peep this, all the way back in 2016, we're looking at probably one of the first mentions of a relationship between Lil Durk and Atlanta rapper Young Thug, all right? This is a 2016 interview with Double XL, but basically, okay, it goes all the way back to allegedly, like, 2014, when basically Young Thug and Durk linked up and basically, you know, tapped in, right? It says, you and Young Thug work really great together on his I'm Up project. Where did you guys meet? Are you planning anything? He said, we met in an Atlanta studio. We knew of each other. We just clicked and vibed out. First song we ever did was Party. Then we did Waffle House. We did stuff for his tape that same day. Everybody was saying that we killed it and we sound good together. Then me and him had a conversation about a tape. So we're going to start working on that when he gets off tour. So there was a time in history, all right, guys, you're not going to believe the history I'm going to give you. I'm going to give you a serious history lesson in this video, and nobody's going to be able to hide from these facts. There was a time when Lil Durk and Young Thug were planning to do an album together. They were talking about a joint album. They said when we get off tour, we're going to start working on that one, okay? Now, by the end of 2016, that's when Lil Durk ends up connecting with 21 Savage, okay? They didn't collaborate together until 2019, but they ended up getting around each other, okay? Apparently, it was the end of 2016, Durk and Savage connected, okay? And let me just see if I can show you this. So they get around each other. This is a 2016 track, all right? Lil Durk, Shoot Her 2 Times, all right? Featuring 21 Savage. So this is their first link up. It wasn't really like a big, you know, a big deal, but they would collaborate again in 2019. That's what I was trying to say. They, you know, they linked up before 2016 or in 2016. They worked on this track. It dropped November 2016. Shoot Her 2 Times featuring 21 Savage, okay? All that shooter talk, all that gangster talk. But again, at this time, this is before all the beef. So around the very same time, and this is where it's interesting, right? Because this is the first instance. I want to make this very clear to everybody, okay? This is the first instance that we're seeing Lil Durk and 21 Savage link up, okay? So don't give me all of that, oh, we go way back and I got to take sides. 2016, hopping on a song with Durk, 21 Savage, right? Also 2016, around the very same time, Youngboy and 21 Savage, Murder Remix. To be honest, this is a little bit before. This is November the 4th, 2016, all right? 21 and Youngboy, you got OG3 in there, all right? Everybody linked up, we all linked up, all right? You got the whole gang, you got all the slimes, you're all together, we're united, okay? It was all good when you guys was chilling together, all right? So you was tapped in with NBA November 4th, 2016. You didn't even do a music video for the Dirk song. Dirk didn't even throw you the music video shoot. So this came out just as audio later that month, all right? You was really locked in with Youngboy first. You was and Youngboy bringing out the whole gang and the whole set to do a music video, whereas Dirk's only giving you the audio, right? A few weeks later. So just remember that, all right? Let's just not forget that, all right? You was locked in together. You was more locked in with Youngboy than you was with Dirk. Youngboy bringing the whole slimes, right? Bringing the whole slimes out for you. For OG3, was that Ben 10? Got the legends of the NBA on the block for you guys. I'm not seeing no Lil Durk music video. I'm not seeing no Buka 600, no Bezu in 2016. Maybe it was going on behind the scenes. But Youngboy putting on a show for you. Youngboy giving you that clout package. Got the ATVs out here, right? Now, Youngboy would actually even recall 21 Savage hitting him up personally to record the music video. Didn't hit up Dirk personally to record the music video. Check this out. Ready for this?
Up on him, I had a chopper. Yeah, you remember I put up on him, I had a chop on me. I put up on him, I hopped out the sprinter van. He like, hey, put that up, you don't need that around here. I'm fucking Sage. I think he bought the second one that ever just let me pull up on him. You know, a lot of rappers scared. But he bought probably the second one that let me pull up on him. And he said, we don't really be on no rap shit. Honestly, we never speak about music when we're around each other. We just be on some vibing shit, having fun shit. And some wild shit.
So you be vibing, having fun, he pulling up with a chopper. Everybody else is scared of this guy. You guys are locked in. I didn't see Dirk pull up on a block with a chopper at that point. Alright? I didn't see that. Now apparently, okay, obviously end of 2016, Youngboy starts getting himself in a little bit of trouble. Double attempted murder case. He got a lot on his plate with the Boozilla situation, okay? Go and watch a couple of my videos if you want to know about how all that went down, okay? But once YB gets locked up, he maintains his relationship with 21 Savage from behind bars, okay? Look at this.
Spent a lot of time on lockdown. I was on lockdown for 23 hours and 45 minutes a day. I only had 15 minutes out myself for about 3-4 months straight. All because of who I was. But I wasn't tripping though. I tried to do push-ups, but I can't get no bigger. But I was mostly on the phone. Lil Ben, Montana.
I think I saw an interview you said you were talking to 21 Savage when you were like that.
Oh yeah, I spoke with him. He was on the road. Yeah, he was on the road. I think he was on the High Horse tour. Nah, he was just ready for me to come home. Mine.
So he locked up, right? And his 15 minutes a day that he's allowed to get on the phone, he's talking to the guys, Ben, Montana, whatever. But he also talking to Savage. This a real friendship. This looking like a way more real friendship than the Dirk friendship. This looking like a real friendship. And he would elaborate on this in a double XL interview later on down the line. Said, who are some people that reached out to you while you were locked up? I'll be talking to 21 Savage. That's it. I F with him on some personal stuff. When you see how this relationship went later down the line, you're going to think, wow, what a snake. Who are some people that have reached out? 21, that's it. That's it. I F with him on some personal shit. He's all I really be talking to. Other rappers really don't fuck with me. I don't give a F how much they post me. They don't fuck with me. Remember this. Remember this when I start telling you stuff that happened in 2023, all right? And rumor has it, okay, that 21 Savage might have blessed Youngboy into a little known set of the Bloods, all right? And it might have been, some people believe that 21 Savage, okay, basically might have blessed, there's been talk that he basically blessed Youngboy into the Sex Money Murder Bloods, and that's what made the 4K Trey Slimes like genuine bloods, okay? And there's this line, 4L is where Lil Top got birthed. And this is apparently Youngboy confirming that Savage actually put him on the Blood Gang in this leak track. I don't know if I'll be able to play this properly. Let me just play this real quick. 4L where Lil Top got birthed. So it says 4L where Lil Top got birthed, okay? And basically it's like, there's other rumors. Let me find the other thing. All right, look at this, yeah? They're saying this is the Sex Money Murder Bloods, the infamous blood set from the East Coast that NBA Youngboy allegedly got blessed into while he was staying in Atlanta and hanging out with Atlanta blood rappers 21 Savage, 4L Sex Money Murder, and Young Thug YSL Sex Money Murder. But now it's F the streets, right? Says a lot of folks from the Baton Rouge locals to the Baton Rouge rap fans have been debating for a few years whether or not Sex Money Murder has a presence in Baton Rouge, now under the 4K Trey moniker. A lot of people think Youngboy's 4K Trey crew is a subset of the Sex Money Murder Bloods, while others think it's just him and his people putting on a blood image for clout, like a lot of rappers do nowadays. Baton Rouge is not known for gangbanging or organized street gangs at all. Everything in the city is basically rap crews, neighborhood cliques, hoods, and blocks. So a lot of people find it hard to believe that a famous blood set like Sex Money Murder would establish itself in a city like Baton Rouge that's been openly rejecting traditional gang culture for decades. Sex Money Murder Bloods was originally formed inside the Soundview Projects located in the Bronx. Okay, and let's see a little bit of this history.
SMM flies the colors red and green.
Sex Money Murder was simply about money, and the green represented money.
A few years ago, it was Sex Money Murder's birthday. It was June 6th of 2006. The color of the day was green. Every place that we went in the city, every neighborhood that was affiliated with them, they were wearing green bandanas.
Sex Money Murder follows the laws of the United Blood Nation, or UBN.
They pretty much follow the bylaws, which is basically to know these histories, the original founding OGs, what they were in jail for, who was murdered by what set, and then...
So look, all right, you know a bit of the history now. They're saying the Sex Money Murder Bloods. They're saying that this is real. And if you look at the comments on this one, where Youngboy said Pharrell where Lil Top got birthed, he was saying, so YB is 21 drop, and he still chose Dirk over him, all right? Saying he chose Von. In reality, dudes was D-riding Von like crazy on some fan stuff. Ain't hard to realize Dirk was staying in Atlanta for years at this time, so he's probably more cool with that guy. But they're saying Youngboy, the only person Youngboy was calling in prison was 21 Savage, all right? He said YB became blood for an image. He didn't actually lock in with them. That's why Man came and did one song, seen how MFs was moving in the A, became blood and dipped off, started that antisocial stuff, went and D-road Thug for a little bit, so the world would say, okay, Dog is stamped since he'd been with 21 and Savage. Then he did the antisocial, I don't need nobody BS again, hadn't messed with dudes or reached out for real until that situation happened. Now you want to call 21 for backup. That's why 21 texts back, like, who the F is this? Because, dude, you ain't been fucking with him. Ain't give bun of day upcoming artists, no features, and MFers didn't know you as 4L until after the Dirk beef. Strange. I don't believe that personally. Saying it finally took 7 to 8 years for people to realize YB got blooded into Sex Money Murder, made his own sex, and made his own set, and bought a church to Louisiana and Texas to answer dudes' questions. The blood's been officially in Baton Rouge since 4K Trey got birthed, and apparently 4K Trey got a click in Houston. Right? I FaceTimed my brother that blood me in. This is another lyric of his. He said, you see this big 4L on my neck? This dude had the nerve to text me back and say, who the F is this? Right? That's a lyric that came later, okay? Now here's the funny thing, right? Once YB got out of jail, apparently he linked up with 21 Savage. 21 Savage gave him some more lineups, and he apparently linked him in with Young Thug and Lil Durk.
Yeah, well, Savage decided let's throw a pool party. I'm like, bet. So shit.
Saying Savage threw a little pool party. He said, bet, pulled up to the pool party.
It happened. Me and him went shopping. Yeah, man, we was racing and shit. I wanted to race. But we was racing.
Racing their Lambos, right? I think they got in some trouble.
So by the time we got to the pool party, it was light. But then everybody got to popping up. Thugger pulled up. Gotti pulled up. Meek pulled up. Yeah, PNB, 21 girl. I don't want to say her name. Use your mind. That's about it, shit. But I was about to leave. I had to go to the studio. We all took a picture. I got a song with Yachty. I got a song with Flaming Dicks. I got one with Lil Durk. I got one with Gotti. I don't know when they dropping though.
He got a song with Lil Durk. Okay, he got a song with Lil Durk. And this was that song, My Side, Lil Durk featuring NBA Youngboy. It's right there. And this came out November the 25th, 2017. It was all good just a week ago, okay? My Side, Lil Durk, NBA Youngboy. It's actually crazy to think that this even happened. So after his release, all right, Youngboy was chilling with 21 Savage. They were chilling out, kicking it, playing NBA 2K, and there's footage of them hanging out that still circulates online to this day.
Nah, hell nah. I'm still gonna lose 4,000. You don't think you gonna beat him with down one of the sets? Yeah, just get a hold down one of y'all get him. I'm gonna get a 1,000. Alright.
name one of y'all get.
Alright, let's see.
This thing gonna be your y'all can get the Cavs or Warriors.
Yeah, no Cavs, no Warriors.
Now the good not to do it, because if you play with the Warriors, you supposed to play with Cavs.
If you can play with the Cavs, then I'll play with the Warriors. You gonna play with the Cavs either way. Nah, I don't know.
We're gonna get two different teams.
These guys are friends.
You wanna take ours?
I ain't see a clip of Dirk and 21 kicking it playing 2K.
Alright, just call me, let me know. Okay.
He's doing songs with 21 Savage. He's doing, you know, he's saying there might be a joint. Oh, that was Dirk actually. You know, they're all commingling basically. Dirk might be doing an album with Young Thug. Youngboy's doing songs with 21 Savage. They're kicking it playing 2K. They're also linked in with Young Thug. By 2018, okay, Youngboy is getting himself what is allegedly a $150,000 Young Thug chain, and this is iconic. Okay, check this out.
Why'd you get Young Thug?
Say why?
Yeah.
I'm a Young Thug myself, and it's my inspiration.
That's great. He said Young Thug is his inspiration. Look at this chain. It's crazy.
He's really like, his voice is an instrument, literally. His voice is like a real life instrument.
Look at that chain, it's insane.
It's always the people that don't matter caring.
He said his voice is like a real life instrument, okay? So he's got genuine love for Young Thug and Atlanta and the whole Atlanta scene, right? And you know that Young Thug be on the sus stuff, all right? That's kind of been viral for him. He's calling rappers my love and my bae and all of this kind of thing. And when Youngboy got released from prison in 2018, okay, had a little stint in jail, Young Thug welcomed him home, right? On March the 15th, 2018, he said, "Welcome home, my love," posted a picture of him with Youngboy together next to a Lambo and a bunch of money, okay? Clearly, that's a genuine friendship too. Not only that, all right, but in Atlanta, Youngboy's laying down roots. At a certain point, he develops a close bond with Future's cousin, Baba, okay, from Taliban gang, not the Middle Eastern Taliban gang, thankfully, but, you know, these guys are still pretty deadly, so don't play with them. But basically, he gets to know Future's cousin, Baba, okay, and this guy is allegedly a real problem when it comes to the Atlanta streets, okay? Look at this post on the Dumb Way. It's Future Taliban gang is Baba's cousin. He was one of the Taliban's best hitters, right? And then there's the blood emoji. Said he met Youngboy through Future. He's a Muslim, and they met in 2018, 2019. He has as much love for Baba. I don't know why he's locked up or when he gets out, okay? And I'm pretty sure Baba was tied to a very serious case. Baba was also there when they tried to kill Youngboy at the Trump Hotel. And, you know, there was the rumor that Baba was the one shooting back and frontlining and basically defending Youngboy, low-key saving Youngboy's life, right? Taliban gang was trying to keep them together. So he made serious links in Atlanta, right? He's meeting Atlanta legends, okay? People saying he's not getting out. He's locked for like 8 murders. The prosecutors don't even want him to take it to trial because they're going to do him like D. Rose from Chicago, all right? Says he's locked up for 5 murders. Says they violated parole. I don't know, with the YB shooting in Miami. And both of them got parole violations, right? It says, yeah, you just remembered he was the one who shot back in Florida. That's why Youngboy says, I couldn't grab my gun, so Baba shot back in the Watch Me Burn song. And they're saying that's what violated his probation before that. So one of Baba's songs, he said he killed a Marine in Nigeria. In Mood Swings, he said he knows someone who did. But this is just, like, this is insane, right? We ain't going to get into that in this video. But here's what's crazy, okay? So we're hearing the, you know, 21 Savage, he's doing songs with Youngboy and Dirk at the same time. But Dirk's just giving him audio only. Youngboy's turning up to the music video shoot with AKs and the whole gang, and he's turning up to the pool party and they're racing Lambos. So they've built a real friendship. We've seen footage of them two playing NBA 2K together and all of that kind of stuff. Now, you can't tell me, okay, you can't tell me that people weren't picking sides or people weren't being forced to pick sides. Because in May 2018, all right, considering if you're such good friends with Dirk and you're going to ride for Dirk for years and years when it comes to the 2020s, why are you hopping on a song with one of Dirk's biggest and most notorious enemies, FBG Duck, right? So this is the Slide remix. 21 Savage hopped on the Slide remix. Now, this was a hit song. Rest in peace to FBG Duck. And, you know, obviously the rumors are that, you know, there was money put on his head and, you know, Dirk's not named in the paperwork, but he's like an unidentified individual. And then they name his brother D-Thang, and they say, you know, D-Thang passed away, but if he was alive, he would have probably been on trial for organizing the murder of FBG Duck. And this isn't a secret. This isn't, oh, a new beef that popped off. Like the Youngboy and the Dirk beef was kind of some new stuff that popped off. This was a very notorious, well-known beef in the industry. Okay, everyone knew that Dirk and Duck hated each other. Everyone knew that Duck and his guys would, you know, they were all trying to catch each other out, and Dirk and his boys were trying to kill FBG Duck for years. So for 21 Savage to hop on this song, right, and just hide his hand and say, yo, look, this is just some industry stuff, man. I probably just got paid to jump on this. This was a hit song at the time. I'm not really buying it, okay? And so for you to hop on this song in 2018, May the 7th, is a little bit unusual, right? And at the time, people were saluting 21 for not playing sides. That's ironic, right? 21 was the only big name who would collaborate with Duck on a feature. That deserves a ton of respect. I get why others didn't want to do it. They have relationships with Chief Keef, Dirk, G Herbo, and them to keep up. But 21 said, fuck it, I'm gonna give Duck a big career boost. Isn't that interesting, right? People were bigging him up back then, saying, shout out to 21 Savage for not picking sides and for keeping it real, and, you know, not bringing this street nonsense into the industry. But come to find out a couple of years later, he is absolutely on that gatekeeping, and not just gatekeeping anyone, but gatekeeping a guy that was clearly a really close friend of his, right? It says 21 really went from effing with Duck to effing with Dirk, right? It's very, very sad, okay? People are wondering what's going on. People didn't know this remix existed, all right? It's like, yo, how are you so locked in with Von? They're saying Von's the one who put up the money for Duck to get killed, right? And, you know, he's not here anymore, but at the end of the day, this is 2021. Hey, listen, I'm not saying this. This is 4 years ago. Somebody commented, 21 a snitch now with Dirk. Slaughter gang. FBG Duck is a real one, okay? Long live FBG Duck, man. Shout out to Mama Duck as well, okay? After Duck passed away, 21 Savage made a song with Lil Durk. That's just pure disrespect, right? Just found out about this after Pressure said something about Bezu's funeral. I don't even know about that one. I'm gonna need to look into that, okay? This dude went from 21. This dude 21 went from Duck to Von. It is actually messed up. 21 fake as hell. He said if he would have known Duck was beefing with Dirk, then he wouldn't have did the remix. Everybody knew that Duck was beefing with Dirk. The song's called Slide. The song's talking about Dirk and them. Say you want to slide, pussy boy, then slide them. Like, he's taunting Dirk, and then you're going to pretend that you're friends with him. It is actually insane. So 21 Savage would actually later explain about how he would claim to explain that basically he's going to tell us how he found out about Duck's beef with Lil Durk, but he'd already agreed to do the feature. Well, you were already friends with Youngboy, so listen to this.
We just like FBG Duck shit.
Like,
That shit was hard.
I ain't know.
We don't know about Chicago. We just like FBG Duck shit.
Like,
That shit was hard.
I ain't know nothing about
Niggas didn't know about that shit.
None of that shit. And I heard about it, like, but when I found out, I already told Duck I was gonna do the song. I was like, I gotta do the song. But I ain't never asked them niggas about what happened, why they was beefing, none of that.
Sometimes it be like that.
I did the song, and I found out after, like, once I did the song, I'm like, damn, I ain't even know this was going on type shit, but it was still like, shit, it is what it is.
Niggas know it was a genuine place. He wasn't no nigga like know all this stuff and was like, oh yeah, I'm just about to hang over here and hang over here.
I didn't play the middle for that purpose.
Yeah, but at least that's connected to some real like street shit. But like,
now he don't know. I didn't know I was playing the middle. I didn't know. I found out afterwards. I'd already told him I would do the song, so I found out and I still did the song. But I'd already told him, like, that don't make no sense. And as far as I'm concerned, by this point, 28, I ain't seen too much of you to do with Dirk at this point. I'm just seeing you doing music video shoots with Youngboy. Youngboy saying you're the only person he called when he was in prison. I'm seeing Youngboy talking about you was racing Lambos in a pool party. And now you backtracking talking about, oh, I would have never done the song with Duck if I'd have known. You're saying that now. You were saying that now when Dirk was the biggest name in the game. Okay, so jump forward to August of 2019. Okay, this is when Young Thug name drops both Youngboy and Dirk together on 2019 track Lil Baby. Right, this track here. Okay, whatever Wham says goes, as we know. Says my slime brothers Pluto, Savage, and YB, Quavo, Takeoff, Offset, Uzi, Lil Durk, Meek Mill, and Drizzy. Right. He's shouting everybody out. He's cool with everybody. If you knew that these guys were going to get into a beef, and they weren't beefing at this point. This was about, I'm not going to lie, this was probably within a couple of weeks of that clip where we saw Quando Rondo backstage with King Von and Lil Durk, and they all touched the stage together, and everything was cool between them, okay? Send Young Thug shouts out all of his slimes, right? All of his guys, okay? And just as a recap as well, okay, Young Thug, obviously they were getting the chain made, but they did songs together. You got Young Thug and Quando Rondo. So next time you see Young Thug hopping on a song with Dirk, let's not forget, September 2018, Thug was hopping on songs with Quando and Youngboy. Okay, you were all tapped in, all right? And by the end of 2018, Thug is shouting out Youngboy on his Instagram too, right? There's clearly real friendship between them. This is Thug's Instagram. He's posting a picture of Youngboy with 21 and Thug. If NBA don't like you, I hate you. If 21 Savage says F you, we're gonna okay? I don't even wanna get into this one. But here's where this is the problem. The person on screen, this is the problem, okay? And when this problem gets to Atlanta, kind of ruins it for everybody, because everybody's so infatuated with this man. Everybody's so impressed. Everybody's so scared of this guy. That's when things start going left, okay? And everybody wants to please this man. Everybody's scared of this man. You know about this guy. Everybody wants to just get around it. This is the coolest, scariest, most gangster guy anyone's ever seen in Atlanta. The whole streets of Atlanta bow down when this man arrives in town, all right? And doesn't matter how long they've known each other, doesn't matter what songs you've done, doesn't matter what parties you've gone to, doesn't matter how many times you've played 2K together. When this man comes to town, you gotta bend over backwards, do whatever he says, all right? This is when the dynamic starts to shift, because Dirk moves to Atlanta, Von comes and moves to Atlanta. Dirk's there with the most notorious shooter from Chicago, King Von, all right? And everybody wants to be around these guys. They're having all the motion in the rap game. This guy's killed 7 people and got away with it, and it's just like, forget about Youngboy. We don't care about his bodies, even though he kind of be making the same stuff happen behind the scenes. So basically, this is where it all goes left. Look at this.
64th and King Drive, Chicago. Parkway Drive.
When this man gets to town, this is when you all start apologizing for doing something dumb.
Out in Chicago? Do I still reside? Yeah. Nah, hell no, I'm in Atlanta now.
You live in Atlanta?
Hey.
How old were you when you made that decision?
The other day. 24.
Oh, very recent.
Yeah.
I assume it's a career choice.
Yeah, for sure. Life choice too, career.
Now, growing up...
So he hops over to Atlanta, all right, and everything changes. This is the coolest cat in town. Everybody got to change up. It's time to switch up. It's time to completely change the score sheet. Everything's getting different. Now, everybody's wondering, okay, where did this beef between Von and Youngboy start? And it was literally within days of this clip coming out, all right, literally this same month of March 2019, that King Von decides to hop on IG Live and start talking about, you got Cap in your raps. Now, some people believe there's another theory that they beefed. It's why Youngboy and King Von started beefing. Okay, this theory basically proposes that basically a leaker, all right, a fake Youngboy on Instagram convinced King Von that he was talking to the real Youngboy and pissed him off. That's a theory going around. I've looked into this theory. I've not really been fully convinced by it. I've heard a theory that they was actually beefing over a girl they were both hooking up with. You know, I've heard stories from people like in the industry that have basically said to me there was a girl called like Lil Blue or something Youngboy and Von were both messing with. And there's a rumor that King Von called Youngboy called King Von being tough with him, basically arguing about a bitch, and then that's when it all went left. Right, I'm not saying she a bitch, but I'm saying that's what people. That's me retelling the story of what I've been told by guys from that lifestyle. That's what I'm trying to say, respectfully. Right, people saying how a leaker started the NBA 4K Trey and OTF beef, NBA Youngboy and JD Young and NLE Chopper versus YB beef, and more. Okay, because King Von posted, the only way me and Youngboy will be into it is if he starts hanging on 63rd. Well, that's interesting, because when 21 Savage made a song with FBG Duck, that's kind of hanging on 63rd. You weren't beefing with him. You wasn't saying he got Cap in his raps. No, because everybody had to just lay down and just be nice. Everybody just had to anything goes with King Von when he was in town, all right? So there's this whole backstory as to why they might have been beefing. And look, I honestly don't want to get too much into it, okay? It was like a fake song. Some people said the leaker basically sent Blame It to YB's song to Von, and Von hopped on the song thinking it was the real Youngboy and was sending him songs for a feature, and that's why Von started dissing Youngboy out of nowhere, okay? Some people basically saying that like this leaker sent an unreleased song that was circulating to King Von and tricked him, and then he was pissed off. You know, it hit his ego, it hit his pride, and he basically got pissed off, and that's when he did this, okay? And again, I'll read between the lines into this a little bit more, because I know shit about this stuff.
Fuck Youngboy talking about on this song, bro.
What?
He talking crazy on this man.
Oh, yeah?
He ain't even like that.
Oh?
On his ass now.
On his ass?
That's Cap. You got Cap in your rap.
So that's one of the most infamous statements from Von. He says, Youngboy, you got cap in your raps. But one of the details that people overlooked, okay, when King Von said you got cap in your raps, he's listening to this Youngboy song. Them drugs bring it out and I can't hide it, right? He's listening to this song. And basically, as soon as he turns the volume down and says you got cap in your raps, that's after Youngboy has said, all right,
You ain't got no food, that's crazy.
them dudes shouldn't have played with us. Fulio let that hammer bust, slip one time and you bite the dust. That's when you dudes die. Guns in retaliation, ask me what to make, I say a body.